Folks, these condo units have no chance. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending June the 4th, 2025. We have a condo buyer that is pretty adamant. Him and his wife, they want minimum 700 square feet, 2 bedrooms minimum 700 square feet. And the condos that we're looking at, and the condos he's flagging through the MLS, new listings that come up, minimum 700 square feet. And so there was one that was 720 square feet that he flagged, he wanted to go see. Now, in that building, I had in the past previously purchased a condo for one of my clients. It was about 650 square feet, so less than what my client wants to buy. And there happened to be a unit for sale similar to the one, well, it was in the same stack. It had the same floor plan as the one I purchased previously for one of my clients. And I know I had a great floor plan, although smaller than what my client wants. It still had the 2 bedrooms and it had a great floor plan. So I basically spoke to him about it, and because we were going to be in the building anyways looking at the unit he wanted to see at 720, his attitude, the husband's attitude was, sure, let's go see it, but not very hopeful, the fact that it was 650 square feet. So we go see the 720 square foot condo. Immediately was turned off. Just very quickly, you're trying to figure out, where do we put our stuff? Where do we put the sofa, TV, a table to have some meals at? The layout was just terrible. Then we went to go see the 650 square foot unit, the one that I'm suggesting we go see. And it was incredible. It was so much smaller in square footage, but the layout made sense. We were in there almost a full half an hour that we allotted for the showing time, and they can see their furniture can go here, and they could have a place to have a meal at here, a table. It made sense. The size of the bedroom was great for this, their bed and whatnot. It just made total sense. And I'm seeing that and learning that. I mean, it's not new what I'm talking about here, that somebody wants to live in their condo and enjoy life the way they want to enjoy it. But man, today it's far more predominant, the livability of the units. The buyers today, they want to live. They're not buying these to rent them out. They're buying these units to live in. And I'm telling you all this because layout is more important than square footage. There's a sense that because it's larger square footage, it's going to be better. It's not always the case. Fortunately for my client, the 650 square foot condo that we're looking at that he now likes, it's priced lower than the 720 square foot condo that he doesn't like. So, things are working out pretty good for that couple there. But man, I know so many times when we're looking to buy a condo, we put like a hard line. It can't be lower than this square footage. And well, in many cases, whether the layout works or not, you're paying per square foot. That's often, the 600 square foot condo. You go to 700 square feet, you're paying more. You go to 800 square feet, you're paying more. But that doesn't mean the layout is better. The layout is actually should trump everything else. The layout is more important than the square footage. So just be a bit open-minded, up or down on square footage, because you could be surprised the way my clients were. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. Condos across the GTA. That's what we're here to talk about. Before I get into our weekly numbers, let me show you some monthly data. I showed this chart on yesterday's show where we talk about detached properties in the city of Toronto. This is the power of sale chart. In case I know there's some people that only watch the condo show and other people only watch the detached, the freehold show. So I'm repeating this chart. This is for power of sales broken down by month. The orange, that's the current month that we're in, and the blue, that's the same month a year ago. And if we basically break it down by this year only, January, February, March, April, and May, that period this year, power of sales are up 61% over the same period a year ago. And if we go back the previous year, 2023, the same period, they're up even more from there. So power of sales the last few years have been really climbing. It sounds like a lot, 61% more, and it is a lot, but it's not enough to really turn things around as far as prices go. Power of sales are up, no doubt. And if you're experiencing or you're in that situation, it's turning your world upside down. It's not a happy situation to be in. I'm just saying there's not enough of them to really suppress or to put downward pressure on price. Let's also look at data, sales, and average prices broken down by month for multiple years. May 2025 is here. I go all the way back to May 2021, highlighted in black. If we look at sales this May, 973 condo apartments were sold. This is data just for the city of Toronto. Fewer sales than the previous year and the year before that. So for the last 3 years, sales for May has been dropping. And May has been, these last couple of years, basically the highest, well, last year almost the highest, but right up against, it was April and May, the two highest months. The previous year, May 2023, May was the highest month. The most sales were done in May. I don't know if that's going to be the case yet this year, but sales have been trending up to May. We're going to see, do sales taper off like they have the last couple of years after May? So we'll keep an eye on that. Average sold price for May 2025 is $701,000. Now, average price, if we go back to May 2022, has been trending down since May 2022. $701,000 is the new current average price for May, which is 8.6% lower than last year, May. Or we are 10.7% lower May 2023. We are 11.7% lower than May 2022. We're only 2.3% lower than May 2021. We want to go back further. 2020, we're actually 4% higher. If we go to 2019, we're 9.2% higher today in average sold price. So 2021 is when things, or 2022 is when prices really started to trend down when it comes to condos. So depending on when you bought. Now, I'm generalizing. These are average prices of the whole city of Toronto. But if you bought your condo in 2022, 2023, you're 10, 11% lower today as far as value goes, generally speaking. Let's get into our regular program, broken down by week. For week ending June the 4th, we're going to be focused in this show, City of Toronto, York Region, and Peel Region condos. Peel Region condos are at $537 as an average sold price. Toronto, $728,000. $191,000, almost $200,000 is the difference in average sold price between buying in Peel, and buying in the City of Toronto. We're going to start with the City of Toronto. For week ending June the 4th, 182 condo apartments were sold. 20 of those sold at $1 million or more. Sales doesn't really look like, I'm not able to really spot a trend unless the trend is kind of flat. I mean, they go up, they go down, up and down. So 182, it's at the top end of what's kind of normal right now for most of the year. Average sold price is sitting at $681,000. Now, average sold price for a while, since beginning of February to the end of April, looks like average sold prices overall were trending up in condos. I know it's not something you hear often in condos, but since the beginning of May, average sold price, or the end of April, average sold price looks like it's been trending down. Compared to last year, $681,000 is 11% lower year over year. The median price of $601,000 is 8% lower. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. We said average prices were going up and then coming down, and you see that with the 4-week moving average. But median price has been more steadily, slightly trending down over the last 2.5 to 3 months. 182 were sold, only 16% sold at list price or more. 888 were listed. Now, active listings is down slightly over the last couple of weeks, but overall, for the longest time, active listings has been trending up. We're now sitting at 6,328 available condo apartments for sale in the City of Toronto. And months of inventory, down slightly over the previous few weeks. We're sitting at 8 months of inventory. Still quite high, very much a buyer's market when it comes to condos. And that's the whole city. If we break the city down into 9 different sections, there's a couple of areas that stand out. I mean, we're saying the whole city is 8 months of inventory. Well, Scarborough is 4.8 months of inventory, more of a balanced market, or the top end of a balanced market. High Park, Parkdale sitting at 4 months of inventory. A balanced market, we say, is between 3 months of inventory and 5 months. So 4 would be kind of right in the middle there of what we would classify as a balanced market. But then you have your other areas here. Uptown, 10 months of inventory. Midtown, 8.1 months of inventory. Downtown, 9.5 months of inventory. So you're going to experience different markets when it comes to the City of Toronto. And I'm looking at all condo sales. Let's go the other way and break it down further. If we look at 1-bedroom condos, now this includes 1-bedroom plus den, 1-bedroom condos for week ending June the 4th, 80 of those were sold. I can't really spot a trend in sales. 80 were sold for week ending June the 4th. Average sold price is $569,000. When we look at the 1-bedroom condos, it kind of looks like average price slightly has been trending down over the previous 3 months. If we look at a 4-bedroom condos for week ending June the 4th, not 4-bedroom condos, sorry, 2-bedroom condos, and these are 2-bedroom plus den. The 2 bedrooms, well, 88 of those condos were sold for week ending June the 4th. Average sold price came down quite a bit from the previous week. It's now at $787,000. But prior to that, overall, over the span of 2.5 months or so, 3 months, average sold price for the 2-bed plus den condos has been trending upwards. Now, there's different ways of trying to explain this. One is, well, the buyer is an end user. They want the 2-bedroom over the 1-bedroom. And that also means larger units. Price, there's more more buyers are looking for these bigger units, and also as the size of these condos gets larger that the people are buying, well, so does the price, right? A lot of the prices are based on price per square footage. It's a big difference between a 500 square foot condo and a 900 or 1,000 square foot condo. Big difference in price. They still may only be 2 bedrooms. More buyers prefer the larger unit. So that's one way of explaining why is price going up. Here's the comparison between the two of what's happening. When you look at sales, the 2-bedroom sales are just slightly higher than the 1-bedroom. So there's more 2-bedrooms being sold, not by a lot, it's just slightly higher. And you could see the comparison of what's happening between the two. Here's York Region condos for weekend June the 4th, 38 condos sold across York Region. 2 of those sold at $1 million or more, only 2. Average sold price sitting at $637. Average sold price across York Region for condos has been trending down. Compared to last year, $637 is 10% lower than where we were a year ago. The median price of $580 is 13% lower than where we were this time a year ago. And both average price and median price trending down. 38 were sold, almost a quarter, 24% sold at list price or more. 161 were listed. Active listings starting to come down, but still way up and has been trending up for many months. Months of inventory sitting at 6.9 months of inventory. Here's Peel Region. Now, I'm talking about Peel Region, all condos, the majority, vast majority are in Mississauga. So for weekending June the 4th, 34 condos were sold. Average sold price is $537,000. We used to be in the high 5s, low 6. We're now in the mid 500s. You could see what's happened with prices for Peel Region condos. 537 is 7% lower than this time a year ago. The median price is also 7% lower. Median price is $529. The dotted line, the 4-week moving average, has us up here, moving down, trending down. 34 were sold, 15% sold at list price or more. 166 were listed. Active listings is climbing. Months of inventory sitting at 7.8. Here's a quick summary. Pretty much a buyer's market when it comes to condos. There will be some exceptions. Some sellers are dropping their prices, creating an attraction for their condo because of that. Some buildings are more favorable, and some buyers are for the odd condo competing, but the vast majority is pretty much a balanced market or mostly a buyer's market. Let me say that. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.